Okay, so this video comes to you in two parts, the good and the bad. And I feel like I should include and the ugly, but I'm not going to. Oh, I can say the good, the bad, and the nano. Okay, so the good is I went on a cruise and mostly it was incredible. I got to drink all kinds of new drinks. I got to hang out with my sister and my parents and my grandparents, sort of. I'll get to that later. And all kinds of good food. I got to do the indoor skydiving and went to the beach, swam in the ocean, explored like beautiful areas, all kinds of fun stuff. So worth it. I'm so glad we went on this cruise. It was super easy to get to. It was only 15 minutes from my house. So it's just, the whole thing was wonderful. The bad. My grandfather got very sick on the boat, had to be medically evacuated while we were in Bermuda. So I am now back on the mainland. I'm in my apartment. It's Saturday. We're all supposed to have gotten home today. He and his wife, my grandmother, are still at the hospital in Bermuda. My mother went off the boat with them, so for what would have been half the trip, the three of them were in Bermuda. But my mom flew back here when she was sure that he was medically stable enough and okay, because he's her father. She said the care there is fantastic. He's doing well. He's stable, but he's not stable enough to fly back to the States yet. But they got the travel insurance, so they can afford it, and it's fine, and no one's going to, die. And I say that very seriously because there was a point where I did not know what was going to happen. So I'm glad that the doctors were able to be very helpful there. She got a passport stamp which says arrived in Bermuda by boat, which is so cool because if you go on a cruise ship, you don't get a stamp because you're going and coming back the same way. And I'm jealous of the passport stamp, but I'm glad everybody's okay. Other bad. Yeah, there wasn't much other bad. The health was serious, but we were still able to enjoy the cruise in general. And once we got the word from them that everything was fine, it was all right, we're just gonna enjoy the Broadway show that's on the boat and going to dancing in the evening and listening to music and whatever else. And so we knew it was okay. Once we knew he was okay, we knew it was okay to enjoy ourselves. And very much he would not have wanted us to be miserable or anything. Whoops. Okay. So that's the good and the bad. And then the nano. So it's November. I wasn't sure how I was going to go on vacation because I was there are a million things to do. There's also a lot of downtime, but there are a million things to do. I accidentally took 7 books out of the library, brought 5 of them with me on the boat, read 0 of them. Whatever. Instead of reading and instead of watching the 3 seasons of TV that I brought with me on Netflix on my computer, all I did was write. So I think I did 16,000 words or 15,000 words or something. It was probably 50, something a little under 2,000 words a day. I'm really proud of myself because in the beginning I missed the November 3rd entirely. I think I told you guys the 1st and 2nd I did about 1,000 words. Later on I had a day of about 1,000 words. So I wasn't sure if I was ever going to get caught up. And then yesterday I wrote more than 5,000. I was so proud. I was I'm finally doing this. I'm actually going to be able to do NaNoWriMo for the first time in several years. So as of today, the 10th, I am well underway. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm at 18 something. I'm not far ahead, but I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I usually by this point in the month have sort of fallen off track. I haven't won in a while, so I'm determined. This is a story, I think I've told you guys about it before because I was going to write it before, but in case you've forgotten, which would be fine because most people would have forgotten because it's been so long. This is my Disney princess novel because my goal in life is to write a Disney princess musical that's turned into an animated Disney princess cartoon. So this is the story of the 12 dancing princesses, which is a fairy tale from a long time ago, but modified in the same way that Frozen is modified version of the Snow Queen, where it's an old-fashioned fairy tale that Disney sort of turned around. It's the same kind of thing. So I took the 12 dancing princesses and I changed the motivations and I changed the backstory, but the actual story of the prince and how he gets involved is all the same. And then halfway through, the princess is psych, wait, let's really talk about what's happening here. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, story's happening. I love what I've done it. They're all very sarcastic, having a lot of fun with, like, she's a total badass and she's so much fun. And yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but I probably will as the month goes on. I've had this in my head for so long. So when I'm writing, it's very much like, oh, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this, like, normally, even if I know the story really well, going into the month, things change. I'm 18,000 words in or something, and I've had, like, 0 brain blasts, which sounds like a bad thing, but really it just means it's because everything is so well crafted in my head. Like, I think this is maybe the 3rd time I've said I was going to do it for NaNo. This is the first time I've actually gotten more than... Well, I've gotten any words on the page. There were 1,259, I believe, when I started this, which I am not counting towards my 50,000, obviously. So, that's the sum total of everything I had done before. Oh, part of it was I didn't know if I was going to write it as a screenplay or a novel, so I tried to do it as a screenplay at one point, and I think that's why I failed, because I have no idea how to do that. So when I'm writing it as a novel, I'm writing it, like, with my voice and my comfort level, and it's working. It's working really well. The one thing I don't have is the 12 Dancing Princesses, they're 12 sisters. There are 12 names, obviously. I lost the list of names. And 10 of them aren't main characters, so I don't know the names of 10 of the princesses. And it's going to be really annoying if I have to look up names again. I can't find it anywhere on my computer. Oh, dear. I mean... But in the grand scheme of things, if that's the one thing I'm struggling with while writing a novel and everything else coming smoothly, that's A-okay. Oh, what else? Nella, I'm really sorry about your computer mishaps. This is just such a mess. I hope it ends once and for all, one way or another, and everything gets better. I think you said it was an 8-year-old computer. Like, that's a good lifespan for a computer. They don't make them to last these days, so that's solid. Does not make it any easier when you have to pay for a new one or re-download all of your programs and all the other inconveniences that come with restarting. But sorry you're dealing with it. Kate, NaNo, yay! We're doing this. Yeah, keep us updated on your progress. I always want to do writing sprints, or word sprints is the word. And I usually have buddies to do them online, but none of my groups are actively doing them. They're all just like, post your word count. I'm like, cool, I'm at 18,000. Anybody want to do word sprints? Next day, post your word count, which to me isn't as helpful. Like, I'm still doing it, but it's not as helpful. So, if you're ever interested, when I was on the cruise, I would actually time myself, write down my number for that time, and then just restart and see if I could beat the previous time. So I have like a whole list on a little notepad document on my computer of like 5 minutes, 2:20, 5 minutes, 2:10, 5 minutes, 2:55, like whatever. I mean, those are terrible, but you know, like whatever I got done to see if I was sort of racing myself. And I discovered that my favorite drink is the mojito. And I discovered that when I have several of them, I can write very quickly. I still like the content of what I churn out, even though it's quick. Like, I tend to think I work really well during NaNo. It's good for me. Okay. DFTBA.